Hey guys, Michael. Another 75-cent record, and I couldn't believe that I bought it, to be honest. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh, yes, he did. I did buy it, and I'm glad I did. The song "Come On, Eileen" drove me insane on in one of my Facebook groups. I think it was Steve Darr. No, it was Marty. I think it was Marty said that he had found it just one of the most grating songs ever, and I did too. I hated that song, but I do remember somewhere along the line I had watched something or read something, and they were talking about Kevin Rowland and Dexy's Midnight Runners, and how underappreciated they were and stuff. And I thought, for 75 cents, maybe I'll check it out. Maybe there's a. I'm glad I did. This is 1982. I believe it's a 1982 pressing from. It says right on here somewhere that it's Australasia, and it has a different track listing than the American release did. It's on Mercury. Came in a plain inner sleeve, which kind of puzzled me a bit because the description that I read when I looked it up on Discogs was that it was in a printed dust bag, as they called it, on a Mercury label like that, which is kind of I think, a neat looking label in a lot of ways. It almost looks like, Mercury made sort of neat looking labels back in the age of the 78. And it also has instead an insert, lyric sheet, band photo, and credits on the other side. And I assume that in other formats this would have been printed on either side of the dust jacket. Okay. The big difference that I have garnered is that the U.S. press, at least on side 2, "Come On, Eileen" was the first song. You're softened up completely for that song on this because it's the last song on the album. It's a good album. And by the time I got to "Come On, Eileen," instead of it annoying the hell out of me like it always did when it would come on MTV or come on the radio, it fit right in. Because the album is, in a way, almost like a concept album. And good. And good. Very good. Good bunch of musicians. Good songs. And quite original. In 1982, when you think of what else was going on in 1982, there was a lot of really horrible schlock that was particularly dominating MTV. Oh, I'm going to cut my hair weird, and not that these guys weren't annoyingly dressed with God, all of a sudden everybody's running around in bib overalls again, which have experienced multiple revivals in I remember in the late 60s and the very early 70s, bib overalls. So they kind of come and go. Okay, whatever. There's nothing wrong with bib overalls. Not exactly the sexiest thing to wear, though. And just kind of a general odd thing. But at least they didn't go to the point of dyeing their hair multiple colors and, shaving it all different ways. Cyndi Lauper did it and got away with it, and I think looked great. But just about everybody else looked ridiculous, and I'm Thompson Twims. I am talking to you. At any rate, I am so glad I got that album, and it's a good example of where my original impression of something, to where I really didn't think I would ever buy it, and I would not have paid, if they had asked $4 for it, I wouldn't have paid. I wouldn't have bought it. But I'm sure glad I paid 75 cents for it, because now I know how good this really was. And I don't know that I'm going to become a big Dexy's Midnight Runners fan or a big Kevin Rowland fan, but I'm certainly open to their music much more than I was. And I remember even back then some people saying, "Oh, that's such a great album," and I was like, "No, God, I just wanted to run and bury my head under pillows, or pull the trigger, or take a bottle of Valium or something every time I'd hear that song." And then you hear it, and in the context that it was intended to be, which was as the last song on the album, and it's actually good. The whole album is good. I can be so wrong sometimes, and this is a great example of it, and I'm happy to admit it. I'll play this album again. I really will. I like it that well.